Hey guys, Diplex here again. Welcome back to Men of War Assault Squad 2 and RobZ Realism Mod. Today we're doing a classic Tug of War in Stalingrad set during the winter of 1942 to 43. Of course, you can tell there's snow on the ground. This map in particular just really gives me that Stalingrad feel. You have the railroad tracks, you have the pipes, the overground pipes, I'm not sure what to call them. You've got the kind of factory hangars and everything. Because Stalingrad was a industrial city, so you have that really industrial feel. I think that's nice. So, how is this Tug of War going to work? Well, it's going to be fairly fair, albeit I haven't really seen the outcome of it, so I don't know who's going to win, which is interesting. I'm kind of bored of knowing who's going to win all the time, so in the future I'm going to try and create battles without a certain winner, from my perspective, who's making the battle itself. I've only really tested that all the scripts work, and they do, so that's fine. But talking about scripts, what's going to happen? Well, the battle is going to last for a minimum of 12 minutes, which means there's going to be deployments throughout the 12 minutes. Every 90 seconds, there's going to be a infantry deployment per side. The Germans are going to get 16 men divided into 2 squads, and the Soviets are going to get 20 divided into 2 squads. I know that's unfair, but also I'm going for some kind of realism here, some kind of historical accuracy. In terms of numbers, I think the Soviets would have more than 20 per wave if the Germans had 16. Probably twice as many, to be frank. So that's every 90 seconds, which is meant to not really flood the battlefield. Halfway through, at minute 6, each side will get a mortar, which will be deployed kind of by the rear lines. So the Russians will have theirs over here, and on the opposite side of the map, the Germans will have theirs behind the small sandbags here. There's also a small light AT gun per side that's just kind of guarding the rear. It's not meant to really impact the actual battle in the center. It's just placed there in case one of the side's tanks do really well and push far back, and that could prevent enemy infantry from getting to the center. So that AT gun, which is in all means fairly light, could actually prevent it from happening. So it's just a safety precaution, whatever, but, there's no guarantee that it'll do anything against the enemy tanks, which brings me to the final thing, tanks. So after exactly 3 minutes, which leaves 9 minutes left of deployment, there will be the first wave of tanks, and after that, every 3 minutes until we reach 12 minutes. So 3 tanks per side. So now that I've explained that, I think it's about time we click start and enjoy today's battle. One minor detail would be that there's German troops in the center, just to add some ambience to the battle, not to have it be a complete meeting engagement, and we're only talking about a squad of German infantry, so 8 soldiers. It's not really gonna impact the battle at all. So at a preliminary basis, right now, there's 20 Soviets and 24 Germans. After the second wave, if no one had died, there would be 40 Soviets and 40 Germans. So mathematically, that's kind of cool. And after that, the Soviets are going to be gaining an upper hand each wave. Because numbers, maths, I guess. But yeah, the battle is on. I can't wait to see the first tanks arrive and see how they impact the battle. And after that, also the 2 mortars. It'll be really cool to see if the small, I keep calling them small, which is a really stupid way to define military equipment, but light, yes, light AT guns on either side of the map, how they will impact the enemy armor whenever someone loses a tank, and if it just continues past the enemy infantry towards the spawn. Tanks have a tendency to be quite careless, so we'll see if they get caught up here among some of the buildings and infantry. There goes some artillery. That's nice. I added that for, once again, just ambience. It's nice. It's not really gonna hit any of the infantry in the center, so we have some around the edges of the map for aesthetics and stuff. I like it. I don't know if you do. I think it's cool. Why wouldn't you? You party pooper. Shut the fuck up. I'm joking. Anyway, German infantry approaching here on the left side. Moving through what used to be a train hall, perhaps? A train hangar? There's no rails in it, though, so I'm not sure what it was. Could have just been some factory. Storage room, I suppose. Rent a warehouse. Who knows what kind of productive business was going around in these parts of Stalingrad in the early 40s and late 30s, and who knows. So I've made all the soldiers myself. They don't exist technically in their shape and form. The Soviets have the new Ushankas and also the new snow camouflage. In fact, I did some time in prison. No, but I spent some time on Google looking for the correct uniforms, because the Soviets are a bit tricky. Like, you don't exactly know what the standard would be at all times. But I saw a lot of pictures from when there was snow in the city, and they wore these onesies, you know. Similar to what the Finns had, similar to what I had in the Swedish army, except I think this is a... No, this is not a dress, this is two-part. So it's not a onesie, it's a set, it's a two-piece. Anyway, you can hear that. That means that the first tanks have hit the battlefield. We should be looking at a Panzer III with a 75mm stubby gun here on the German side of things. Here it is. I've removed the shields because I don't like them, and it looks kind of cool to just have this frame. It looks cool. Yeah, I like that. Gotta mix things up every now and then. So, this one is not in action. He hasn't been alerted by any nearby allies. However, on the opposite side, the enemy T-34 is moving in with a gorgeous snow camouflage, or like snow dusting. It's lightly dusted. It's not painted in like frickin' white, like Photoshop white. You know what I mean? Like it's not disgusting. It's got a realistic kind of feel to it. I like that. So it's going to be moving on to the left side of the map here, seen from the Soviet perspective. The Germans are still holding the center. In fact, I think some of the Germans positioned here at the start could still be alive. But it's a pretty centered fight right now. Yeah, we're kind of a bit closer to the Soviet side right now. But, you know, the Soviets are going to be gaining numbers. Each wave, they're going to be getting a bigger and bigger advantage as time passes by, so I think we will see a shift pretty soon. Besides, if the Germans are too close to the Soviets are going to be able to use their AT gun, which isn't overly effective, but in a few minutes, once that mortar hits the battlefield, the German mortar might be out of range. So that's really, really interesting. Yes. T-34 still on the right side of the map, just wreaking havoc here with the Germans in the center. The only infantry on both sides that have the ability to take it out is either John Rambo, who isn't present, but the squad leaders with submachine guns and AT grenades. There are 2 per wave. The only real number advantage the Soviets see in terms of weapons are riflemen for historical relevancy and accuracy, I suppose. So we're starting to see some more troops branch out here on the left side, seen from the German perspective. At a start, they were very centered, but as more and more troops hit the field, we're going to see a wider combat width, and I kind of like that. How are we doing down here with the Panzer? Oh, he's stuck on a building. How cute. Look at you. Aren't you a good little Panzer? Aren't you a good little tank? Pathetic. Anyway. We might see this Pak-36 come to use soon, but it does seem like the T-34 has gotten himself into a bit of a predicament as well. So we now have 2 deployed static 75mm guns, the Soviet one being oh so much more useful currently. Sorry about that. Oh. Oh, it's on the move. Look at that. And the second tanks, or the second wave of tanks have been deployed. Oh, he's gonna get stuck on the factory instead. The second one is showing more promise. German mortar deployed nicely behind the sandbags, so they do have that going for them. Oh, this one's going to cause a few friendly casualties as he runs through the building. Soviet mortar deployed as well, and it is firing as I predicted. This could turn the tide for the Soviets rather quickly. It's really nice spectating such a, you know, a battle with so much variety in terms of units like mortars, tanks, infantry. The numbers differ, the terrain is very different. It's not the classic Tug of War arcadey style of map. And this could really turn out either way. And it does seem like the German panzers have sorted their stuff out. They are on track now to greatness. That's a Russian submachine gunner, though. Is he going to pull out his AT grenade and do something good for his motherland? He seems to have more pressing issues at hand right now to deal with, as he's shot dead. I think he would have done his nation a great deal of work if he had just pulled out the grenade and thrown it in the right direction. But he missed this opportunity. Is this T-34 knocked out? No, it isn't. It's still active. It's just not... It just doesn't have a view of the Panzer. Here we go! Alright, that 45mm Russian AT gun knocked out the tank itself. The crew was quick to dismount. They're going to resort to their pistols. And that was the end of that one. Panzer III moving up on this side. Oh, we got some Germans swarming the enemy T-34. Let's see if they pull out a hand grenade or if they're gonna muck about around it. Who knows? That Soviet AT gun, the M37, to be precise, has its sights aimed at the Panzer III, which is currently hiding behind the center pillar of this hangar. The third and final wave of tanks have been deployed, as well as the final wave of... No, not the final wave of infantry. There will be one more, I do believe. This 34 has gotten unhinged. It's moving into the rear of the Panzer III. We have a third and final T-34 moving in from its front. I think it's pretty much game over for this guy, unless the reinforcing Panzer III can come into action. Oh, that's a good hit, but it's not going to be enough to penetrate the turret. I'm pretty sure this T-34 will have time to reload and fire again. That one bounced as well. Oh, it's a tedious process for that old Panzer III to turn its turret around. Oh, but the third time's the charm. Tank crew's gonna dismount and panic, defend themselves to their best ability with their pistols, but it's pretty much game over for these guys. Lots of Soviets hiding behind this part here. That's nice. Is that an AT grenade? No, that's a oh shit. It's a regular hand grenade. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but we should be looking at 3 active T-34s and just about 1 Panzer III. Is this the hero we all need? Who knows? Perhaps the Pak-36 will deliver once push comes to shove. Or perhaps it's just a supreme Soviet victory that we've got on our hands. But it's not over yet. The German infantry is still dominating the center without any help from the German armor. I wonder if the Soviet mortar is definitely in full effect. I wonder if the Germans have started firing theirs. Not quite. I'm not sure, because I don't think there's any enemy infantry that close yet. But the Panzer III has started firing. It's targeting a T-34. It'll be cool to see if we have any squad leaders with... There we go! He had the bolts for it. So he was a rifleman, but in fact he was an Obergefreiter, so Don't judge a man by his weaponry or the size of his caliber. Judge him by the variety of his hand grenades. Yes. Quote me on that. So he threw one, but it didn't quite hit the spot, as they say. But it is giving the Pack 36 down here plenty of target practice. He might have knocked out the treads. I think at this range, you're going to have to be very optimistic to penetrate. But now that it's turning its side... Oh, but you miss, of course. That's another part of the whole problem. And now it's blocked. But we still have this Panzer III alive. German infantry is maybe not in control of the center, but it's... I'm not seeing an overwhelming number of Soviets moving up either. We do have some Germans alive here by the factory area. Overall, I like to see this battlefield change the way it has. Lots of explosions and stuff like that. Oh, that's just a good way to lose a lot of men in a short period of time. Bunching them up like that. It's not the most tank-friendly map, but it's nice to see how the AI can solve some of its issues. And I'm also quite shocked the enemy hasn't lost a single T-34 yet. I just don't see how the enemy 45mm cannon could do so much better than the German 36mm, even though I know there's like a 33% difference in caliber or size of the round. But, right, hear me out, I think it's all about the distance, okay? If the T-34s get close enough, the German AT gun will have its say. That's for sure. Besides, I think this I suppose better armored... oh, was that... No, that was just a mortar explosion. I thought that was the tank going up. This Panzer III, with its short, stubby 75mm gun, I think if it's in a... I don't know what it's doing. I'm not going to interfere with its business. But if it's just in the right place at the right time, I think it's goodbye Soviet tanks. However, this Pack 36 might have received a new target. It's changing from HE to AP. I think it had HE rounds loaded as it lost vision of that T-34. But now that a new one has arrived, it seems to be struggling. There we go. First one off, and it missed, but it'll have a few more shots. There we go. That's a nice side silhouette. Come on. Come on. Fire! There we go. Oh, it just shook it up a bit. Oh, no. That's a side armor hit. Come on. Come on. One more. Nope. Oh, tracks? No, not even the tracks. This is crazy. Come on. Come on. Do it. No, fuck. Honestly, what is the Panzer III doing? Come on. It's bouncing the shells. There we go. Now it's gonna wake up. Did they fall asleep? Oh, fucking hell. What a bunch of wankers. So, what's up with that, yo? I mean, like, the Soviets have just run over the Germans today. In a very tragic way. The Germans have not had any good luck today. At all. Whatsoever. So, you know, I might have to reconsider the choice of AT guns. Or is the T-34 simply that much better armored? I mean, this is a 1940 model, okay? Honestly, I think it's down to the 36mm on this gun. It wasn't designed to knock out T-34s. But it did it, finally. I mean, yeah, you know, I can respect that. Now you've got an angry Soviet with a pistol. He just literally shot one of you in the head. Now he's having a conversation with the other guy. Maybe they can see face to face. Maybe they can arrange something here. Are you guys looking for an arrangement? Maybe this guy secretly wants to be brought over to the German side. I want to drive the German tanks, yes? He's going to knock him out. He's going to do him a favor. Look at the storm of Soviets. I feel like it's an ample result. I feel like it's a semi-desirable outcome. It just makes sense. But yeah, overall, I think if we do the math correctly, including the eight Germans stationed here at the start, the Germans deployed a total of 128 men, and the Soviets deployed a total of 160. So not a huge difference. I think that the dysfunctional Panzer IIIs was a major pain in the ass for the Germans, not so much the Russians. It would have looked different otherwise. Besides, the Germans pushed so far early up, that the Soviet mortar outperformed them. Let's have a look at casualties. 18 men this guy's responsible for. German mortar, how many can you be proud over? 4. This tank. Holy shit! 4. That's a 4. That's 45. That's like... Frickin' hell, that's like more than a third of the German infantry deployed today. You've killed them. Good job. Accent change. Don't worry. We don't know how many this guy got, but I think this was one of the first tanks to be deployed, considering the fact that it's destroyed 2 enemy tanks. What about this one? Actually, this is the OG, the one that kept getting stuck in the buildings, I think. He's only done 4, so this must be number 2, right? And I suppose. Honestly, if it hadn't been for the heavier equipment of the Soviets today, I think the German infantry would have bested the Soviet infantry. That seems to not have all too many casualties to brag about. This guy's got 1. This lot haven't got a single one. This guy hasn't got 1. Neither does he. Neither does he. Not him either. Not him. Not him. Certainly not him. Not him. So, I mean, I don't know how many we're looking at surviving this. It seems to be just about a wave of Soviets, perhaps a bit more. We have some returning back to spawn over here. But, yeah, we're not looking at more than, I don't know, 20, 30 at tops. So, if you guys want me to give this another run, I can do it like tomorrow or during the weekend. Would you guys like me to change anything about this? I thought it was a really enjoyable battle. Here's a look at casualties. The Germans are going to be marked in red. We'll turn that around. We'll turn that around for logic. The Soviets are now... Wait, no, the Soviets should be marked in red. There we go. Now the Germans are marked in yellow. It's been a pretty brutal battle up here. Look at the amount of dead Soviets here by the railroad. That's cool. I liked some of the fighting we saw in here. In fact, I liked seeing the tank crew get out and fight with their pistols. That was really cool. You know, I wouldn't mind doing this exact same battle again and just seeing if we could reach a different result. Albeit, I won't do it today. It'll happen another day when you've probably forgotten about this and you'll be like, oh, nice, that's a new Diplex video. Oh, I haven't seen this before. Good work. Nice. Lots of effort. Very nice. No, but probably in a week, and I'll be sure to not scam you guys. I'll remind you that we did this battle a while ago, and I'll also make up the fact that 100 of you were like, yeah, let's do it again. So please help me out on that, guys. Come on, let me know, all right? YouTube's harsh on me right now with the views, okay? Save me some time, please. Anyway, so thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys soon again. Ciao.